Details involving an alleged sexual assault. Police tell us the suspect attacked her over the weekend. The alleged victim, a teenage girl, and she says it all started at a bus stop. Our Kelly Rule reports.
27-year-old Jonathan John behind bars tonight after Philadelphia police say a brave 16-year-old girl called them for help just before 9 p.m. Saturday at B and Rockland Streets in North Philadelphia as John was inside a convenience store. According to the victim, John offered her a ride as she was waiting for a bus on Allegheny Avenue at 2 p.m., but never took her to her destination.
Hours in that car, she must have been very, very frightened. She repeatedly asked to go to her destination, and he repeatedly denied her, threatened to pistol whip her.
Police say during that nearly 7-hour terrifying drive, John also sexually assaulted the girl. Police quickly responded after she called 911.
It just so happens that once he arrived here, the investigators noticed that he had on a very distinctive red windbreaker, which was in correlation to an earlier job we had.
Once in custody, police say they were able to pinpoint John as the suspect in an abduction earlier in the day around 10 a.m. on Cedar Street. That victim, a 15-year-old girl, said she met a man that went by John on social media, and he arranged to meet on the premise of a job opportunity and bringing her food. But instead, police say he pulled her into his car, and after driving a few blocks, she escaped when he tried to go inside a store.
So this guy right here, he's as he's going by John. I'm not sure if this is his real name or just the alias that he goes by. He's targeting these teenage girls. Met one and something about promising her food and promising her a job or something like that, and then there was a 15-year-old and the 16-year-old from this news report. She was at a bus stop waiting, and then he approached her and offered her a ride and stuff. Listen, man, y'all gotta talk to y'all teens. Y'all got male and female, specifically female. Y'all gotta talk to them and let them know, man. Never, ever, ever, ever get into no car with no stranger. Just never do that. Never even trust the word of a stranger. It's just like, not just trying to throw it back on them, but you just gotta be way more aware, because these type of guys, these type of sickos, they're gonna be out there, and they're just looking for people who let their guard down, or maybe they have been told, maybe they just didn't listen, but for the safety of your teens, you definitely want to make sure that you have a big mouth as far as communicating, to the point to where they get sick of hearing it. And maybe it'll ingrain or just stick into their head that when they encounter these guys out into the world like that, they'll know to just walk away or run away, get away as quickly as possible. Because at the end of the day, it's not going to end good for them. You're at a bus stop waiting for a bus. You might want to stay at that bus stop, or maybe go into a business establishment or something like that if someone pulls up on you offering you a ride. That's kind of like the weirdest thing. And then, like, why would you even accept the ride? You gotta know you gotta use history as the precedent of how you move in the future. There's plenty of stories. This has been, this type of stuff has happened plenty of times before today. And it's just like, why put yourself in a situation to where this can happen to you? Someone's trying to promise you food and trying to promise you a job or something like that. They're trying to dangle the carrot in front of your face in order to get to their true intentions.
Definitely concerning predatory behavior. Like I said, I'm very happy he's off the street. He's pretty much going out there on encountering these juveniles with a purpose. So my fear is that there may be additional victims.
According to online records in the district attorney's office, there are previous victims. In 2016, the DA's office says he was arrested for rape of an adult, but the charges were withdrawn. In 2023, he was charged with rape in a case that involved 2 victims. The case went...
So 2016, he had a case of rape. In 2023, he had a case of rape, and nothing done. So this guy was just led back out onto the street. This is how the justice system fails you every time. Just fails the community every time. Because you let this guy off on the street, you think he's just not gonna do this again. You think it's going to deter him from doing this again. He's already seen in two prior instances that he could just get off, slap on the wrist or nothing at all. So
to a jury trial, and he was found not guilty and acquitted. Then in February of 2025, court documents say a
found not guilty in a jury trial. That's crazy.
Victim told investigators John held her at knife point on West Russell Street, demanded money, and sexually assaulted her. The DA's office says despite months of outreach with that victim, when it came time for the trial, she chose to withdraw from the process.
And see, you know, you go as far as letting the authorities know, and when the authorities finally get at the trial, they're depending on you to come in and give your testimony, to give what you went through, being held at knife point and being sexually assaulted, and then you just kind of withdraw yourself out. Not sure if your family was threatened, or, if your life was threatened or anything like that. But just just that one brave person can put an end to, a lot of this type of stuff from, continuing to happen. Could say the 15-year-old and the 16-year-old from this news story.
And could not be reached by their office or PPD after extensive efforts. And less than 2 months ago, on December 2nd, 2025, they had to withdraw the charges, and John was released from prison.
The DNA evidence alone was not enough for us to meet our burden without a survivor coming forward to explain that DNA was not a result of a consensual act.
You see, so, and as she was saying, the DNA alone just wasn't enough for them to continue to try to prosecute the case. They have to be able to prove it without doubt. Like, that's the burden that's on the state, that's on these prosecutors of the state. They have to prove it. And a lot of times the only way they can do that is if they have somebody that is cooperating, who is willing to go up onto that stand and, tell their truth or tell the truth.
Of cases, especially when you have someone who appears to be targeting and preying on vulnerable people who are out to target and to be predatory like this, they sometimes get away with it for a while. We want to do everything we can right now to make sure this one does not get away with it ever again, and that he gets the very serious consequences he deserves.
The DA's office told me today they do expect to have strong evidence in these recent cases, including DNA evidence and surveillance video. John is being held on $750,000 bond with a detainer, which keeps him in custody. Jason.
All right, Kelly Rule, thank you very much.
Yeah, so talk to your teens. If you're sending your teens out to, at 15, 16 years old to catch bus, because I know this is Philly, so... but you're sending your teens out to, at that age, catch the bus and all this and that, man. You better have very long, serious conversations with them and let them know that, there's people out here like this. These are some of the things that they'll do. A lot of times people just don't want to have these conversations because they can be uncomfortable. But what can be really uncomfortable and really unsettling is your teen coming back to you telling them that they experienced this type of stuff. Or, your teen going missing and you never seeing them again at all. So you kind of have to weigh on the scale, do I want to go through this and this heartbreak, or do I want to go ahead and go through this uncomfortable conversation, but I'm getting this information out to them, I'm educating them, I'm making sure that they're aware of X, Y, and Z, and, hopefully they'll never come across that situation, and if they do, they should know how to handle it if their ears are open and they're listening. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about this whole thing. Let me know, how you feel about whether parents should, take the initiative, talk to their teens and make sure they're aware. Should parents send their teens to wait for the bus without, them being there, or having, someone of the family being there to, make sure that they're okay to get onto the bus. Just let me know how y'all feel in the comments. Also, hit a like on the video for the algorithm and subscribe to my channel. This is Justin Paul. Peace.